prospective study of over 6.5 years and 1,200 adult cancer patients has produced a remarkable 30 times greater survival statistic when compared to conventional full-dose chemotherapy. Greater than 95% of all their patients choose low-dose insulin-potentiated life chemotherapy, using only 10 to 15% chemotherapy dosing with insulin. Dr. Forsythe has long been considered one of the most respected physicians in the United States, particularly for his treatment of cancer and the legal use of human growth hormone. Located in Reno, Nevada, Dr. Forsythe has seen patients from all over the world. To schedule your consultation today, call 775-827-0707. That number again is 775-827-0707.
Hey, all you entrepreneurs out there. Whether you have a small business or work from home, LaRue Press offers a virtual office and business address for all your business needs. Located at 280 Gregg Street, Suite 10, LaRue Press is your personal assistant for friendly all-day service. Need a conference room to meet with clients? You got it. With LaRue Press, you also get phone answering service, mail forwarding, package pickup, and even help branding your business. Call LaRue Press at 849-3814 or go online to lrpnv.com.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd, host of AM News, part of America Matters Media, family of talk shows heard nationwide now. Want to thank Jan Hermson. She's the owner of LaRue Press here in Northern Nevada. Had enough faith in me that she actually published my very first book. It's called Final Breath. It's a love story. It's a love story. It takes place on the Wainema Ranch. Why do I tell you that? Because all the proceeds of this little gift book are going to our American heritage, the wild horses and mustangs at the Wild Horse Sanctuary there at Wainema Ranch. Want to check them out? Go to WaiNemaRanch.com. Write it down. It's WINEMA Ranch.com, WaiNemaRanch.com. Check it out. Or if you would like additional information about the book or the ranch, give me a call, 775-384-4444.
Barbecue, the Butcher's Kitchen, would like to thank every customer for your loyalty and continued support through these challenging times. Call for takeout and delivery of rib tips, brisket, ahi, tuna, roasted veggies, and much more. Barbecue's open from 11 to 7, Monday through Saturday, and delivers hot food safe and healthy. Call 499-5855 for details. 499-5855 Barbecue, as featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives. Get real. Get into Barbecue Reno. Shannon Will Lawson back in the American Roundup. You're in the corral. Firebird Light Opera, Stephen Thompson, Executive Artistic Director, Musical Director for the organization, is here with us. We're talking about our Gala Masquerade. That's this Sunday, 7 o'clock, $40. Get your tickets now. Get out there and check it out. Stephen, wrap it up for us. We got Bill Conrad coming on.
Sure. Yeah. We just want people to come out and enjoy themselves. Hopefully that $40 is something that people can afford, but with it, you get a full masquerade ball during intermission. You get fundraisers. You get, it's a cash bar, but there should be a lot of options and concessions at the theater. A great place to watch some great music.
Awesome. I'm in. Awesome. Uncle Jerry, we will, if we can't make it this time, we will go.
Awesome.
Is that a date?
That's a date.
We're talking about Uncle Jerry, 6 years in the Navy, 4 years in submarines. Believe it or not, he worked on nuclear missiles in the submarines.
That's enough.
Yeah. Okay, that's enough. He was in 2 years of reserves too. So that's my uncle. I'm very proud of him that he did serve as a veteran. I went to college, or I probably would have went in the Navy too.
Sure.
So yeah, I played football in college.
We'd have let you in.
And I was too big. I was 240 pounds as a senior. They wanted me to get down to 199. I'm like, I think I'll go play football in college. So I did, and the rest is history. Bill Conrad, running for U.S. Senate in the great state of Nevada, 31 years, lieutenant colonel, retired in the Army. Also, Special Forces lifetime member, 4 terms in Afghanistan, flying helicopters. And this is the hero, elect a Green Beret. I know he doesn't consider himself a hero. I do, and a lot of other people do. Not only did he do that, but he saved a lot of people when the debacle in Afghanistan, our early exit, leaving millions and millions of dollars on the battlefield. That, by the way, is being used by Israel, Hamas against Israel right now. Bill, Conrad, welcome to the Corral. You're in the American Roundup.
Hey, Shannon. Well, a happy Nevada Day, and also to your Uncle Jerry and Stephen. Really good show. I'll go ahead and talk about some country music. I was looking up Western music. There's definitely a genre to Western music, more tangy, and it was played in the West with limited, type of instruments that they could carry with them. And it evolved. It's not so many ballads. It sounds like it's more like, some guitar, banjo, smoother sound.
Exactly. And trail tunes,
Trail
tunes about
tunes.
Americana, horses, cattle. That's how the Western evolved.
Yeah, pretty interesting genre. Interesting to know the history about Reno and what's going on and what we have here. It's really a incredible place to live, especially in northern Nevada. Before we go into the news, just talking, what do you see the differences are between northern and southern Nevada in entertainment?
Southern Nevada, I'm going to take this and then I'm going to give to Stephen. Southern Nevada, you've got a lot more casinos there, and you got like 2 million people there now. That's why the Raiders moved in there. They should have been called the Nevada Raiders. I know we've had this discussion before, but in Vegas, I believe the union is still probably going. American Federation of Musicians is the union, so they're probably still strong in Las Vegas. Although I know some of the casinos, instead of having pit musicians, are using backup tracks, so they don't have to go through the union and pay live musicians. So I'm not exactly sure the percentage of union and live musicians in Vegas. Compared to Reno, there's no more union. It's a cutthroat, stab you in the back. I can do it cheaper than you, but you pay for what you get. So when you pay for a professional opera, that's what you're going to get. When you pay for a backyard opera that's going to cut your throat and go and do it for $50, that's what you're going to get. Stephen.
Yeah, I don't know what the union situation is like in Las Vegas, but one of our company members, and a long-time Nevada Opera member, her father was the head of the musicians union for years and years. Rat Pack days.
I'm sure I know.
Yeah. Kathy Kimmel is her name, and she said back in the day it was all about big bands and all about live musicians. And I don't know, because I don't really see a lot of shows other than a couple I've seen, but it seems like Cirque du Soleil and some of this other type of things have taken over. That's pretty much all canned music, I think.
All canned. You don't have to pay musicians, so that's a budget consideration.
Right. I think it is. I don't mean to. Yeah. No libel here, but I think when I look at the shows that are right now going up, it's all technology. It's all ways of, showing a spectacle, but not paying live humans always to do it.
So you got one or two guys on. You probably got a stage manager and then the main manager, and they're on computers now. And I know they run sound by computers. There's either one or two guys when it used to be, like a 30-piece band,
right,
with a leader.
Right.
Well, when Diana and I lived in Vegas, we lived there. I helped build the Meadows Sears store. But anyway, Liberace was the headliner for years. That's the kind of glitter you got. And hi, Colonel, how you doing?
Good. What year was that? Was Liberace was there?
Oh, 80, 79,
Really?
80, 81.
Because my dad was stationed there when he was young at Nellis Air Force Base.
At Nellis, yeah.
And he used to see Liberace downtown Fremont Street on a piano, or just when he was starting.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
he was a great entertainer.
Yeah, I think he grew up there. I not grew up, but when he was a young entertainer, really young, he came there and started playing in Fremont Street, some of the smaller places, and evolved.
Yeah.
So pretty interesting. A lot of history down there, of course.
Oh yeah, a lot of good history.
And Fremont Street was the original strip. That was Las Vegas.
Right.
Now they've got a roof over it, and it's the Fremont experience. It's really fun.
It's pretty cool.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
It is.
That's the only thing I'll recommend in Vegas is the Fremont Street experience.
Yeah.
All the rest of it, forget it. It's dirty, stinky, and nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will give a shout out to, I've never seen a production, but I guess their opera company there, Sin City Opera, it's called. It's actually pretty good opera company.
All right.
They do a lot of new works, and so I'd love to get down there and actually see one of their shows.
Yeah. And then maybe we'll bring them up here and they can do the Reno deal with you guys.
I would love that. I'm really non-competitive. I want to sort of join forces with other arts programs like Reno Little Theater and, work collaboratively.
That's what we need to do. We need to collaborate, not be against each other, not trying to stab each other in the back. Professional musicians are going to get the shows. They should get the shows. Brian Shaddix is in speaking of professional musician, Brian Shaddix, my musical director and booking agent for the show, is in Las Vegas right now. I feel sorry for him with all that traffic and have to play in those casinos down there. But Brian, I hope you're having a good show. He just texted in and said, great show for us. And we miss you, Brian. I messed up on one of the segments, but we made it right when I played Steven's song, but it is live radio. Stuff happens. We try not to mention when we do make the mistakes, huh, Bill?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out, maybe someday I'll have like a mixer that like a Rodecaster 2 Pro and just punch buttons and have the switches out there. You know,
Yeah, that's what
things are
you've got
changing a
now,
lot.
so
The
let's
whole
do it,
industry is changing. Even what we're doing now is live streaming, going out a lot of different venues. Like I'm actually going out to YouTube as well as you guys going out to Facebook, which is a nice place to post stuff.
That's good. Hope I don't get you kicked off. You know how I am.
Yeah, well, I'm careful. I just had
Okay.
3 notices like from years ago, so I had to modify those. So I brought them, you know, I had to go and trim them. That's crazy. Hey, talking about the issues real fast, I put those up. Yesterday we sort of hit some different issues about Haiti and Nicaragua and the connections with all the flights coming in. And I had an update about those 4 airlines that are taking those 268 charter flights since August. 27 came in over the last couple of days. And their Sun Airlines, the Sky High Aviation. I've got all the links to those. I was looking at their websites, Air Central, and except for the last one, which is a European airline, they're all connected with Cuba.
Ah, okay.
They're all connected some way with Cuba. They all go in and out of Cuba. All South America. One of them goes into Miami, but the big question is, where's the money coming from to pay those folks together? There's a lot of people coming in that way.
And who are the people that are coming in that we think? Are these young terrorists of fighting age?
I don't know. I don't have eyes on. We just know a number of flights. And that's a lot of flights coming in, 27 flights. They get on a train, a bus, or somehow they're taken up to the border and they come across. It's a very dangerous situation, whatever it is.
So from Haiti on to Central America, and then from Central America, they just walk up here through the border.
Well, I don't think they walk. I think they actually have transportation now. It's pretty well organized. 200,000 people plus. Forgot how many million have come across since Joe Biden's been there. It's quite high. But anyway, I sort of try to stay up on that. It's hard to stay up on it. So much is happening. We just don't really have a border down there at all.
Absolutely. I think the estimate that the government's saying 11 million. So it's going to have to be like 22 million that have come in the last, year and a half, 2 years.
So that's going to really affect us on security, and it's affecting us now. So, the United States is changing tremendously. And my second issue coming up was Biden's falling violence issues. Well, first of all, the first issue today is, of course, the terrible shooting and the mental health issues in Maine. And I looked at mental health issues and saw that of these shootings, 97% were young males.
Right. And
then if you go deeper and try and think, well, when did this start happening? When did we start getting these mass shootings like we have today? Well, it happened after 1999. If you look back, there was a ruling in 1999 by the Supreme Court where they wanted to have people who were mentally ill stay at home and not go out. And most of these cases are just mentally ill. And why are they young men too? That's another question.
Right. Well, there's been a huge attack on men, since the 60s by the feminist movement. So there's not very many men out there anymore, Bill.
So in 1999, the Supreme Court ruled in a case of Olmstead versus LC, whatever that is, that mentally ill people ought to be treated at home or in the community settings rather than being institutionalized. So that seems like a lot of things start happening then. But then another side note here is prisons started to become the substitutes for the hospitals.
Right.
For these people. So it's really a sad thing that happened back and look at 1999. I think you have to look at causes. The other thing too, is kind of unique is estimated by the government right now that we have 600,000 homeless people, which is up substantially, even under Biden. And of those 600,000, 120 of them suffer severe mental illness. They're on the streets. So how do we solve that problem? If I'm a senator, that's the one question we have to look at. What do we do to solve that problem?
Yeah,
it's not about guns, it's about mentally ill.
Yeah, it's definitely about mental illness. And then, you also talked about the sleeper cells. We're not sure when these sleeper cells are going to develop and who's going to come out of these things.
They're there already. They're already developed. I worked in that business in 2004 and 5. They're there.
What can we expect?
So look at Michigan right now. So I actually, I don't have my notes with me, but I read a report that the biggest threat and the biggest possible for terrorist activities will be around the big cities, especially if we attack Iran. You'll see them come out, and specifically Michigan. And in certain areas like Michigan, where there's a high population of Muslims who are new Muslims into the country, there is a 60%, 60-40 split of 60 who are not connected or not related in any way other than coming in to the United States. And there's probably a high number of people there who are anti-Israel and anti-United States and fall in line more with the Middle East and Iran in particular. So it's a very, very dangerous situation. Thank you, President Biden and Obama.
And we had 10,000 people on New York streets a few days ago, 10,000, Palestinian pro people all in hijabs and in their dress with flying their flags in New York City, a blue city, sanctuary city. Now they're crying too.
So here's, we spoke earlier, a different poll shows that Muslim Americans, about 60% believe Hamas was justified in their terrorist attack. 60%. Huh. That's huge.
And that's also death to America. And Christians. That
came out of a Gallup poll, just taken. Gallup poll, 60%. So when I was in the Middle East, we felt that there were about 4 to 5% radicals, Muslims who would kill us, who want to kill us. But the support, who would actually support them and protect them, was about 15% of that. So that's a high population in that area. And they're saying now in this poll, having 60% of Muslims who actually support Hamas, that doesn't mean that 60 would come out and be terrorists. But if you have those same percentages, 4 or 5% of those would be the terrorists, which is a lot of people, which is thousands of people.
I've got a question, Brian. What would be the percentage of sleepers that they put in to cause problems, that are trying to put together these marches and stuff? I can't believe there are that many people just on the spur of the moment take a march. To me it's a central thing that people are being brainwashed, for lack of a better term, to get out and march and complain and things like that. Have you looked at that?
Oh yeah, they're already organized. That's public, plain sight, organized through political groups. It's through Meetup, anything. There's technology, digital connections. A lot easier nowadays. But they're already organized. But those aren't the people who protest. Are not necessarily those extremists who are going to actually go and kill people. But there are people out there who want to kill Americans who are out in our society right now. And I think you talk to any police officer or anybody with an intelligent background, you'll find out that they'll believe pretty much the same way because they've been getting the briefs. So here's an interesting fact. Reference Biden. Biden's popularity has dropped tremendously in the last 2 weeks. There's another Gallup poll that I have here, and it's down substantially. Dropped 11 points in the last 3 weeks, Biden's support. And it, for what it's worth, 35% independents get Biden, marks only 5% Republicans. But anyway, it's dropped substantially, and they feel it's because of the Muslim because he was taking the sides with Israel. And if you watch him now, he's trying to play both sides. So here's an interesting fact. In Michigan, Michigan has changed with population, a lot more immigration, a lot more Muslims have come into Islam there. In 2016, Trump won Michigan by 11,000 votes. In 2020, he lost it by 150,000 votes. There are 240,000 Muslims in Detroit, Michigan alone.
Now, how did they get there? Is this families? Is this legal immigration, Bill?
They have just come in through the Middle East recently in the last years. Some have come in legally, some illegally, some are citizens, but there are in that city. That's why there's so many people. But those are the cities, Dearborn, Michigan, and other cities where they feel that there even be a high level of terrorism in cells as they spread out. So here's an example. Biden's rhetoric has shifted to a greater emphasis of the world from Muslim Americans to Palestinian American causes. If you listen to him, he started talking more about Palestinians because he's caught between a rock and a hard spot. Because he caused Mr. Biden's other supporters, especially the Jewish Democrats in New York and other places, will get on him. So he's between a rock and a hard spot. That's why he's losing so much support right now from both sides because of the way he's in the middle handling this. It's pretty amazing how much he's dropped. Let's see. 64% of, this is incredible. So in New York, he's got a majority, I did some calculations of the support from New Yorkers still, even after the disaster in New York City.
Yeah. Well, that's your hardcore libtards.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
with all the things happening, let's see. A poll out today, a Siena College shows that 64% of New Yorkers disapprove of how Biden is handling the immigration crisis and leaves him with a 52% Democrats in the state. So he still supports a majority, but he's lost a lot there too because of the immigration issues. Bottom line is Biden has really low polling across the United States now when you go Republican and Democrat, and there's no way that they're going to let him run for president. That's what I'm coming from my numbers.
Yeah, and you've got Gavin Newsom out there going to China, meeting with our enemies. What an insane individual this is, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So anyway, Joe Biden, my forecast that he will not be the nominee.
No.
And you see a lot of different establishments and papers and organizations starting to attack him now that you haven't seen before. And they're starting to report and go after Grassley, coming after him for, the fraudulent transfers of money and that $200,000 check that just showed up now in the Biden's account from his brother. And then finally that goes back. Now they're looking back at the FBI. Said, why didn't the FBI bring to light any of the 40 whistleblowers from the FBI that came out in the last 10 years against Biden? So Grassley's groups has understood and that. So he's going to crash one way or other. He's not going to be there.
Okay. So Brian, you have a lot of these facts and figures. Why is this a Band-Aid approach with the bombing over in Syria or wherever the F-16s went in? Why would he do that? Trying to get some votes back?
I think he has to do that. First of all, he put out yesterday that if they crossed the line, that there would be retaliation. Well, they crossed the line 4 days ago. They started shelling and bombing two of our bases.
Yeah.
Both in Iraq and then Syria. They're all getting bombed and hit. And then there's 20 service members who have been injured. I don't know to what extent. We know that there's some traumatic brain injuries.
Is his red line any better than Obama's?
Probably about the same.
Yeah, same.
Probably about the same. He just plays the game. I mean, Obama did some strange things. We didn't need to put 100,000 people into Afghanistan. I was there when that surge was happening. I was a lieutenant colonel, ran civil affairs, special forces group. And all we needed our special forces group, close air support. We didn't need it. I think Obama probably put all those people in there because the defense industrial organizations out there, right, and the deep state wanting that money.
Yep.
Because we didn't need to do that. We could have stabilized the country with just supporting their special operations and their community police. They're called tribal police over there. That would have worked. Instead, we sort of Americified them and put too much in. We don't need special forces are designed to work internally. That was a total disaster. Yeah, well, that's another issue you could talk about. But so anyway, going on to the economy, let's hit one last thing in the economy and then live talk. So we got some good news yesterday. GPA was up 4.5%. That's the gross national product.
Nice.
I'm not sure how that happened though, but that's what they're reporting.
Yeah.
But we have another report here coming out that U.S. savings in that same period dropped from 5% to 3.4%. That's not good. And credit cards are an all-time high right now for balances.
Over $1 trillion.
And interest rates are skyrocketing. So that means there's going to be a lot of bankruptcies and foreclosures coming around the corner. Great. We're in great situation. That's what you get when you elect Joe Biden and Democrat Senate too. That's why you have to get rid of your senator here.
Yep. And we got a new House. Oh, let's continue with that. And then we'll talk about the House leader and all the money going to Israel and what money went to Ukraine overnight.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, the money, I didn't catch that. So I didn't catch.
$106 billion. They want to send $60 billion to Ukraine, $14 billion to Israel. That's $34 billion. Where's that $34 billion going?
But it's got to go through this House now. So the House isn't going to let it through. They're going to do the House will not let anything like that go through. It'll probably be by Israel, by Ukraine. And you know how I stand on Ukraine, right?
Right. That's been money laundering and an evil country for who knows how many years.
105 to
Jerry's been in the Navy. Yeah.
105 to $120 billion into Ukraine. But here's the really sad part. The the NATO nations are supposed to provide 2% of their GDP for defense. And Germany's not doing that. it came out the other day that Germany is really failing. Instead, they're giving themselves all sorts of social benefits. So we're basically subsidizing Europe with our taxpayer dollars. We're so screwed up right now. It makes my head spin.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows when it's going to end? This new House Speaker is supposed to be really something. I'm not sure if that's already went through. There's supposed to be 14 million already gone to Israel. So I'll check on that and make sure. But
they have
nothing is going to change. It looks like to me.
Yeah, I don't think any new funding has gone through. There's some automatic funding that's out there. I think
automatic. I think that went. Yep.
Yeah, that's.
Well, we're coming to an end here. That's Bill Conrad running for U.S. Senate. The great state of Nevada. This is the guy who has experiences. He's been elected before in California. Back to Nevada, elect a Green Beret. Thank you, Stephen Thompson, the Executive Artistic Director of Firebird Light Opera. Get to see them this Sunday night at 7 o'clock at the Keystone Theater. It's beautiful. Get down there and see it. Thanks so much, Stephen.
Thank you.
Uncle Jerry, thank you so much for coming in. We're going to do this again whenever you can get in here. Bill Conrad, love you. And Celie Clawman.
See you, Steve. Colonel, have a good one.
God bless
Take care.
you.
Thank you.
And God bless America.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
One day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
World getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Found your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate the values of our country and our God is what they desecrate.
One day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger. No finger pricks. Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-432-8150. 800-432-8150. 800-432-8150. That's 800-432-8150.
This is America Matters Media at 93.7 FM, KPGF Sun Valley, your community radio station.
USA News, I'm John Schaefer. Authorities in Maine are still in pursuit of a suspected mass shooter. Mike Soschuk, commissioner of the Maine Department of Safety, said when that shooting happened Wednesday night, police responded quickly.
Spare time, a minute after those initial officers respond, 8 more are there.
All the victims' identities have been confirmed. Among them, the youngest was 14 years old, while the oldest was 76. Robert Card, a 40-year-old U.S. Army reservist, is accused of perpetrating the deadly attack. The recent mass shooting in Maine has revived discussion surrounding assault weapons. President Biden asserts it underscores the necessity for a ban, but many Republicans remain unconvinced. Senator John Cornyn of Texas emphasizing the importance of preventing individuals with mental illness from accessing weapons.
It's not the gun itself that is the problem, because in the hands of a law-abiding person, they're not a threat to public safety.
In Maine, military authorities report the suspected gunman began exhibiting erratic behavior in mid-July. Fresh explosions have been reported in Gaza following Israeli forces' execution of another ground operation against Hamas. Israel has stated that they used troops, fighter jets, drones, and armored vehicles to target Hamas installations. Donald Trump and his 3 adult children are slated to give testimony in his New York civil fraud trial. Donald Trump Jr. set to testify on November 1st, followed by Eric and Ivanka Trump. The former president is scheduled to testify November 6th. They face allegations of artificially inflating their assets to secure more favorable loan conditions, allegations Trump has denied. A delegation of U.S. senators concluding their visit to the Texas-Mexico border. Senator Mike Lee of Utah.
A substantial majority of the women and girls brought up through this process are sexually assaulted along the way.
Border Patrol agents telling the senators that halting the surge of illegal immigration will require a policy shift. This is USA News.
I'd like to introduce you to our new sponsor, Get the Tea. Get the Tea carries all natural, non-GMO organic teas and supplements made in the USA. Get the Tea's ingredients are the purest available. My favorite is Life Change Tea. Life Change Tea is a gentle daily cleanse containing 12 herbs that, when combined, really keep things moving. I drink it every day, and my energy has never been better. I'm feeling great. Life Change Tea comes in 3 delicious flavors: natural, peppermint, and pomegranate. It's an easy and delicious way to keep your digestion on track. And for those on the go, try D365. D365 is Life Change Tea in a capsule. Drink the tea or take D365 capsules and keep your digestion running smoothly. Go to getthetea.com and enter discount code USA to get 10% off any size order. That's getthetea.com, discount code USA for 10% off your order.
The Pentagon has unveiled footage depicting a Chinese fighter jet flying within a mere 10 feet of an American B-52 bomber. The incident happened on Tuesday above the South China Sea. In that video, the fighter jet is seen passing just beneath the wing of the bomber. U.S. officials have labeled it as a hazardous maneuver that posted a significant risk of mid-air collision. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is offering one-way plane tickets to migrants as the migrant situation escalates in his city. The Democrat mayor has announced that the tickets can be used to travel to any destination worldwide. Adams expressed concern that his city is reaching capacity with full shelters. The TSA advising travelers to be mindful of their belongings as they pass through airport security this Halloween weekend. According to TSA spokesperson Lisa Farbstein, passengers of all ages are welcome to travel in costume, but they should use minimal costume makeup and their props should be placed in checked baggage.
Because you're not going to need a broom to fly to your destination because you probably have a ticket.
Large bags of candy should also be taken out of carry-on bags and placed in a separate bin. It's important to note that replicas of explosives, including fake grenades, are prohibited in both carry-on and checked bags. Rising inflation is casting a spooky spell on Halloween, causing a 7% surge in celebration costs this year. That's according to Money Geek. The main contributor to the increase is higher prices of candy, which have jumped 37%. I'm John Schaefer, USA News.
Omaha Steaks Burger Perfection Flight, made from single cuts of real aged Omaha steaks, rewrites the book on burgers. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code TREAT at checkout for an extra $20 off your order, plus free shipping when you order the $79.99 Burger Perfection Flight. A fantastic array of pure ground steak on a bun burger greatness. For $20 off the Burger Perfection Flight, use promo code TREAT at checkout at omahasteaks.com and discover your new burger obsession. Minimum order may be required.
The following is an America Matters Media Encore presentation. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station, its advertisers, or management, but we think they should. And that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Buddy, hey.
Oh, we're having a blast. I don't know. Is there a hippie convention out here? It's kind of what I'm seeing. Some psychedelic paintings and stuff like that. Walked in, and I had, like the older hippie chicks that you'd normally find in Cave Junction, Oregon. They're all like looking at me, going like, "Hey, look at the guy with the hair. Got a star on his cap." Man, it's true. I got a star on my cap. I had this hat made in Hawaii, of all places, and I'm pretty fastidious and all that. So I go back and I get this hat, and look, the hat was only $5, and to sew the patch on was another like $10. So it was like total 17 with tax out the door. I mean, it's a fatty too. It's a flat bill fatty that fitted, right? That just sits on your head. You don't got the Velcro on the back, don't got any straps, don't got the little thing to tighten it or whatever. And I was blown away about the price. But when I got the hat, the star is ever so slightly off center. I mean, because you know where the crease is? So the tip of the arrow is just like to almost one side of it. And so I looked at the lady and I'm like, I mean, for $17, I got this $50 hat for $17. And I'm looking at her going, can you redo it? You can get the point in the middle. And she said no. Anyways, that was cool. I shouldn't even brought it up. I'm just one of those weirdos, part of my in my home improvement business and doing things for my clients, I tend to like overthink stuff. I look at stuff that I think other people will never see. Like into the back end of the closet when you're setting the floor and you got a pattern going, like you get into the back end of the dark part of the closet, I'll still continue the pattern, right? And some flooring people don't. They just slap in what they can, fill up that space because you know what's going there: shoes, boxes, your luggage, travel luggage, anything like that. But I tend to continue the pattern because I want that flow in there in case, when they move out, somebody won't go, "Hey, man, who set that flooring and didn't continue the pattern here?" But listen, that's what you get with Rockstar Realty, Kingsway Home Improvement. You get somebody that's just going to do it right all the way. Now, when you do stuff right like that, it takes a little time. This is another thing that people out there, clients and consumers, and I got all my clients are satisfied. I got a 5-star rating across the board all the way. Right. I think it's like up to 45 or 48 reviews on Google. And these are reviews that people give me. I'm really kind of flabbergasted. I'm just, amazed. I read some of them and I'm pounding my chest because I go, whew, that makes me a little verklempt, right? For those that don't know, a little bit emotional. Anyways, I'm able to look at those and read those and able to share those with other people. So I actually get referrals from those. I actually get business from people that will look at that and say, "Hey, man, I'm going to give this guy a call." Now, look, I have long hair, right? I have a musical background. I'm down to earth. I'm easy to talk to. I'm 6'2". And I have this voice, right? And now some of you can identify, even some women out there can identify with this, right? You're a leader, you're a go-getter, you're a trendsetter. You have directive and motive, and you have a vision, you have application, and you apply. And then when you go